my mic.
I'm sure it caught an echo.
Okay, well, we'll see. I might get yelled at by our editor, but all right. Yeah. So, what did you see in the field this week?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on. The big hot topic right now is volunteer corn.
Volunteer corn. Yeah.
So
There's a lot of it.
yeah, the non-existent winter, that we had. I mean, we had zero moisture to where it could basically sprout and die.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that. And some guys kind of, in hindsight, if you could have probably, and it's hard with tillage, but I mean, you probably should have waited until, put a good chunk of water on late March, early April, and then, I mean, let that stuff grow as much as it can. Come back with the field finisher before planting. And some guys did that and still missed some, but, they were trying to plant April 20th or April 20th. In hindsight, I mean, if you would have waited till May 5th, you probably could have killed a lot of it. And some people did. But, especially when you need to get there with the strip till, if you 2 weeks early, that's where I've seen a lot of it this week is guys kind of do their tillage early and then a lot of that stuff grows. And
yeah, we didn't have the hard winter to really hurt the germination on some of those volunteer seeds. So
yeah, I mean,
seeing a lot more of them. So what's the plan now? I mean,
well,
if it's not enlist,
cultivate. And it's so hard scouting too, because yeah, you can do stand counts and you can see, and that's what I was doing this week is trying to see exactly what the populations are. I was looking at, I saw some numbers, and what was it around? Oh, I mean, you get above 5,000 plants per acre. I mean, I think it's around that 2%. I mean, this is probably university stuff, but like up to 2% yield loss. You get around that 7 to 8,000. I think it's 5%, and then what was it, 13 or around 13,000 plants? I mean, or no. It was maybe above 10,000 plants. You can get like an up to 15% yield loss. So I mean, you start doing the math there. Well, that's an easy. I mean, I don't know what it costs to run your cultivator. I mean, if you own the equipment and you do it, I mean, $15. I mean, that's an easy easy decision. So I mean, you got to wait to. Yeah, I mean, you got to wait to cultivate. Let that the corn that's supposed to be there get a little bigger so it doesn't get damaged as much. But then one of the things we're running into, like we talked on our herbicide podcast, we're running one early post. Well, we don't have any protection out there, so now we're in a bind where we need to start controlling weeds, but we need to let this corn get a little bigger before we cultivate. And the longer we wait, the bigger those pigweeds, kochia, thistle. So we got multiple problems going on at once, but I mean, I think that's going to be okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different setups too. I mean, I know some guys that have set up their side dress rig to where they can get in there a V3 corn and not throw too much dirt over it, and I mean they do a good job. And then I've got other guys that they have to wait till that corn's a foot tall or better to just because their shank's throwing enough dirt that. And speed obviously determines a lot of that too if you're side dressing. But cultivating is a very good tool. Handle volunteer corn. Obviously, if you did not have an enlist hybrid last year and you've got one this year, like that's another option too. Right here around Eckley, a couple of the things we saw were nematodes again this year, which for whatever reason we didn't see them like in distinct shapes or like kind of circle areas or based on soil type like we did a couple years ago when we had really bad nematode pressure. This year it was very specific to where it was either one didn't get enough fertilizer or was a little drier at planting time. So with those two variables in there, what kind of made it hard to diagnose it as nematodes is that it was just very sporadic too.
And there was no protection either, right?
No nematicide or anything on it. Just I mean whatever the seed company would put on it, but I don't know how many nematicides they actually put on that initial seed coat treating.
What was good
So yeah,
with?
so what was super cool was we actually had a neighboring field where we put a nematicide on it, one that we just developed actually, and with our seedling product, and there was no nematodes at all. So I mean,
Yeah,
it was really kind of eye opening to us. Like, okay, we might be onto something
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So
That's, yeah. I was going there too, and I scouted that field the day before. I mean, no, even on the bad soil types. I mean, historically bad with nematodes. I mean, these fields are right next to each other. Two different customers, two different strategies, I guess. One had it, one didn't, and
yeah, but I mean, everything was pretty similar as far as fertility out there.
yeah,
With the between strip till and planter and through
yeah,
the pivot, like everything was pretty similar. Had plenty of fertilizer on both of them.
yep,
So,
yeah, I
but
did,
you could definitely see those spots that did not have good in-furrow rates or starter rates.
yeah,
Like right on the edge of the turn rows where that pump is just turning on the planter. Those spots really showed up. They showed it a little bit more. So nematodes, I think another big one that I've seen too this week, and it definitely varies with what sunlight that that those plants were getting.
It's time for a crop nutrition plan that gets more return from every drop. Starting with Pro Germinator from AgroLiquid, a complete phosphorus fertilizer product that includes nitrogen, potassium, and iron. More than 30 years of research shows that lower application rates of Pro Germinator often outperform other sources of fertilizer. With AgroLiquid's Pro Germinator, you can apply less and expect more. Find out more at agroliquid.com.
But I saw some like V3 corn last week, and it's already got a fifth collar. Like a true V5, like that color is fully formed. So yeah, it really took off when we've had maybe 3 days of heat and sun last week and 3 days this week. So it even with a few cloudy, cooler days, it's jumping. So
it is,
I kind of reminded that every year. Like you think you have more time with corn than you really do.
yeah,
And timing is super crucial in corn. You put that herbicide on a little bit late. We could be stressing that plant, robbing a little more bushels. You put water or nitrogen on a little too late. You're starting to eat into the potential of that yield. So
yeah, you do.
I think timeliness is a big part of it too. So
Yeah,
and with corn, where we do get the heat, we do. Out here in the West, be on top of things, plan ahead.
yeah, yeah. Especially when we talked about the herbicides last time, but especially if you have another outfit spraying for you.
Got an inch of rain Monday.
Yeah,
In kind of that Eckley Yuma area. Ray had some, I don't know, anywhere from it seemed like 3/10 to 3/4 of an inch. So
yeah. Well, bringing that up, I guess. I know we're kind of all over the place on this, but
yeah,
I did see some hailed corn this week, and it mainly was just stripped up. I didn't see anything like super damaging, but this early, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, even if you look at the charts that insurance companies use, I mean, it could be 100% defoliation, and it's going to be probably a 1% loss at V3. So don't get too worried about it. If you see a lot of stripped up corn, I mean, that growing point's gonna stay below the ground till was it V5, V6 before it starts coming out of the ground. So we're gonna lose some leaf. It's gonna set it behind a little bit, but don't get too worried about it. And I think a lot of people, especially in this area, been farming a lot of years. They've definitely seen some hail early, and it turns out fine. I mean, there's as long as that growing point's below the ground.
yeah, and the big thing there too is that it was smaller hail. Sometimes when you get a larger hailstone like golf ball size and it hits right on the plant, sometimes that still kills. You lose some stand because of that. But it's usually not like the whole field. When we're talking V5 or earlier.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so no, we've had some pretty good weather this week, and the heat's going to turn on, so things are looking pretty good. One thing I was going to say too, And it's something, we learned from David Hewlett. He says you need to be a student of the crop. So some of the better farmers that I've seen, compared to some of the not so good farmers, I guess you could say. I don't know if maybe say that, but a lot of these guys are very in tune with their fields, and they are going out, they're looking, they're digging, they're seeing what's going on. You can't always just rely on. Yes, you're paying an agronomist, and you're relying on their input and their information, what they're seeing, but they're only there once a week too. Like, you and I, when we go scout, it's usually once a week, unless it's something like, oh man, we got a problem and we got to go look at it again. So
Right, and I just talked about corn that was, two callers, advanced from in 1 week. V3 to V5.
there's a lot happening in a short amount of time.
Yeah, yep. You really do need to try to get there a couple times a week.
Yeah. It just, take pictures, take a look at the plants, dig some roots, see how they're looking.
And farmers have so much invested into that crop.
Yeah.
Like fertilizer's high, herbicides high, seeds high.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. And I mean, like every little bit matters. So yeah, take time to go look at stuff and don't. It sounds kind of bad, but like don't solely rely on your agronomist once a week. Making all the decisions for you.
Yeah. Take
never
time
hurts to go look at it yourself and see what's going on.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't got to. It's not like you got to do a full-fledged scouting report on your own, but go check on your fields once every other day. Stop in, see what they look like. That's nobody knows your fields like you do, and nobody should care more about your fields than you do. Your agronomist should not care more about how your corn looks than you do. And like you said, there is a lot on the line this year. I mean, now it sounds like prices kind of been tanking again. Things are still high. We got to have a good crop. And yes, your agronomists should be paying attention and helping you make the right decisions, but you also got to be a part of that. Or, you can't be surprised when, things get missed, especially when it's tough in this industry too, because when an agronomist has to look at 150 fields in a week, like, not every field is probably going to get treated the same. I'll tell you what, when I'm scouting, my notes first thing in the morning, way more detailed than the ones in the afternoon. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's very true.
It's
it is. Especially when it's hot out and or super windy, like just not a good. It's just the weather's making it tough to like stay focused for a straight 10 hours.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're scouting, at 6 and we don't get done until after 5s. And it's like we're just focused on looking at the crop. And, it's hard to stay locked in that long, I think.
It is.
And, I mean, and we've seen it with people we worked with in the past. Like,
Yeah.
you talk to whoever's discussing your scouting notes with it, but who actually looked at it. Like it might be an intern who's checking 20 fields in an hour. Like how well did they actually look at it? So look at your own crop. I mean, I think that's very fair to say.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to have multiple eyes.
Hold the agronomist accountable. If you have someone scouting it, hold them accountable, but look at your own crop.
Yeah.
Like you and I know time is something that we're all short on. Like I see it more and more, I feel like, as I get older, like where did the day go? But at the same, and so I know there's a lot of farmers dealing with that too, but at the same time, like where's your time best well spent? Sometimes it might be diagnosing a serious issue and, saving 20 bushels an acre on a pivot that, an intern missed scouting or, like I know they're like, some people have like middle schoolers and high schooler interns, come scout for them. And it's like, you better have a good knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah.
A good idea what's going on, and your own knowledge of that field too.
Yeah. And that's not a bad thing. But it's also kind of a trust but verify
Yeah,
system,
exactly.
and That's just kind of how it is. It is hard to. There's a truck. Yeah, it's having multiple eyes on things. That's. I mean, when you go scout, it's not like you're looking at all 130 acres every time. I mean, it's you're taking sections of the field, and maybe you see something like bring it up. That's part of the learning process. I mean, everybody's learning every year. Say, hey, I saw this. What did you see? And it's the whole field's not going to be the same either, and that's what's tough. And I mean, we're pretty much making full field recommendations most of the time. But yeah, I mean, just get out there and look at your crops. I mean, take pictures, talk to different retailers, agronomists. Most people will be willing to share any of their knowledge with you. That's kind of
That's been a nice tool for us. I know, like, even we have questions, so we'll send it to the AgroLiquid agronomist or the Pivot Bio agronomist or whoever it is, whoever we feel like is best suited. Has the most knowledge around that. Whatever symptom we're seeing in the crop.
Yeah, and most of the time,
it's a team effort.
It really is.
It really is, and that's what it all comes down to: is surround yourself with a good team.
Yeah, I mean, any chemical reps, fertilizer reps, independent agronomists. I mean, send them, especially with just with phones now. I mean, send them a picture. Hey, what do you think this is? I mean, why would I not take advantage of somebody that's been in the field for 30 years? They'll probably know exactly what it is right away. And I've never ran into somebody that wasn't like, oh, no, I can't help you with that. You might be a competitor. I mean, we're all in this together, trying to raise a good crop.
Next Gen Fertilizers is introducing SeedLink, the game-changing planter box product that's revolutionizing corn planter box products. SeedLink delivers uniform emergence like never before, so every seed gets the perfect start. It's packed with phosphorus, humic and fulvic acids, amino acids, and beneficial biology. And the best part, SeedLink is half the cost of most of the other competitive products, even with more in it. We're not just applying biology here, we're actually applying biology with a food source. Use SeedLink on your corn today and get better emergence, better results, and all for a better price. It seemed like it's really pretty good stand counts.
For the conditions, yeah.
Especially considering that, I mean, there were a lot of fields planted in April that seed set in the ground 14 to 18 days before it actually emerged, and it actually came up pretty even.
It did.
At least
it really
the fields
did.
we scouted.
Yeah. Surprisingly, with the conditions that it was kind of thinking we might have a train wreck, but really everything was pretty good.
Yeah, I was nervous, especially the stuff that had SeedLink on it. No.
That's right. No, it looked good.
So yeah, well, how can you take? How can you go look at V3 corn and then relate that back to the planter and say, okay, this is what I need to fix?
So, the old tried and true method. I mean, you can go out, take your tape measure, or make a string or whatever, or just step it off. That for 30-inch rows, it's 17 feet 5 inches. And if you put down 30,000 plants, there should be ideally 30. If you count each row, it should be 30 plants there. So then, after you count, you can average, 5 or 4, 5, 6 rows across, and then you can say I had 26 in one, 30 in another, 28 and 28. So you just average that. So okay, I got to stand at 28. A lot of times, there's probably going to be people that argue back and forth, but honestly, on average, from what I've seen the last 6 years, I usually plan on losing about at least 1.5 thousand. And usually it's that cold injury, it's those twisted, those corkscrew plants. We have some dud plants. They germinate, they shoot. Roots will come out, but there's no mesocotyl that comes out. And I mean, we're just going to have that every year. I mean, sometimes we get damn near a perfect stand, but I think it's kind of rare. If it's like, hey, we put down 33,000, there's 33,000 there across the board. That's really not realistic.
Right. Yeah, we're usually losing one plant.
Yeah.
Per thousandths of an acre.
Yeah. So back to your planter thing. So I mean, so you'll be able to see pretty easy when you go and look, if there's a certain row, let's say you have 4 rows that look really good, came up even, and then maybe there's one row that has 10,000 plants less, or they're all okay. So one thing to look to is for spacing, and with these new planters, they do really good with spacing. But you can see if there's any doubles where it's putting plants right next to each other, or skips. You dig where there should be a seed, there's no seeds. A lot of these, what we can monitor now, will catch that, and hopefully you can catch that in the planter. So I mean, it's easier to catch that now. But I mean, you can, if you consistently keep doing it and you can notice a pattern after the fact. You can't fix it now. Unfortunately, it's going to be for next year. But you can say, hey, I've dialed this into row 3. For some reason, we only have 20,000 plants, and all other, let's say you have a 12-row planter, all other 11 rows are fine. But that one row, I found it in 5 fields. There's something going on there. Well, now we need to go backtrack, diagnose what we're doing, or what we did. We need to look. We can look at the monitor data. If we got row by row, we can look and see. We can start checking. Maybe the trash whipper was set different. Maybe the depth was set different. That's kind of where you have to start. So I mean, now you have a problem for next year. So I mean, you have a problem with that row. So you have to go back and diagnose what was going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, or maybe row 9 seed plate was getting dirty and had horrible singulation because you were leaking hydraulic oil in it.
Yeah.
So only one person listening to this is going to know who I'm talking about. But,
it happens.
You do find like just little weird one-off things like that, and it's good to make sure you get them fixed. And luckily that was one we caught in season.
Yeah.
And it was only one, or 2 fields, 1.5 fields. Where we were struggling with that. So that's, it's always good to spend time, diagnose. It's really easy to just get in there and want to, do everything as fast and minimal effort. But I think that's where a lot of our higher yielding corn is lost, honestly, is just by that lack of attention and effort. And
yeah, I agree, because a lot of it's, we take time the very first day, we set it and we go. And then, I have a bad habit of that. It's, we get busy. We don't get to the planters as much as we can. And it's not just digging seed, it's making sure we have a good seed bed. Rows are clean. We're getting consistent 2-inch on corn. And it is easy. I mean, when you're trying to beat the rain. I mean, it's just load the planter and go. But one thing that's I've always thought about, it's hard in this business, is like we kind of have one shot, and we don't know if we made the right decision until later down the road, and we can't fix it really. So you kind of have one chance per year to learn what happened, and then you have to you have to remember and then not do it again the next year. It's not like, oh shoot, this happened. Well, this next time here, another month, I'll make sure that doesn't. Like, we have one time a year to make it. I mean, that's for the planter, your irrigation, your fertilizing, your combine set right. Like you talked earlier in the episode, it's like, well, I don't think the combines are set right. Well, that was one, we didn't know that at the time. I mean, probably could have done some investigating.
right.
But it's like, okay, well, now I'm paying for it 6 months later when I'm planting. I won't have to set my combine until October. And that's if we remember.
Right.
Yeah,
no, it is paying attention to those details where we know we fell short, and like addressing them as soon as we can before we forget about them. And it's pretty common that we hear that you only get 30 to 40 chances. Let's say you're the decision maker on a farm from when you're 30 to 70. Okay, I mean 40 chances, like that. Yeah. And that's a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like most of us aren't the decision maker 30 to 70.
Yeah, a lot of times it's probably 20.
Yeah. So one chance a year on a lot of these things to get it right, and then, I mean, really not that many chances. You look at 40 chances, like there's a lot of industries where you get a new chance every day, and we don't get that. So
yeah. Hybrid placement, like, oh, I shouldn't have used that hybrid this year, but
Yeah, exactly. Well, and we've seen that with seed dealers too, like just being able to place hybrids better, as they learn that company or, that seed
Yeah.
company better. It's like, oh, all of a sudden, this brand looks better. And it's like, well, they had a couple years to learn how to place hybrids, and that makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
yep, you got to take, and I think some of us are better than others too. Is taking what we've learned and actually, taking action on it. So that's kind of the big thing. I mean, I think that is probably the biggest takeaway from this episode right now, because a lot of decisions are being made or being carried through, and it's kind of hard to retroact. Like, oh, I wish I would have done this, but. You can still impact it for the future. So, make sure you fix what you see is wrong now. Make sure you fix it for next year.
Yeah, take good notes, carry it with you, and if something doesn't work or something works well, document it and apply it for next year.
What's working well for herbicide? You liking that Anthem still? We did our herbicide episode, 1 or 2 episodes ago?
Yeah.
And, Anthem, Meso, Roundup, Atrazine.
Yeah, it's worked well. Since
Field's
then
clean?
we got, and that's a big thing. Like we said, getting that pigweed early, and we have, and it took a toll on it. We got in there V2 spraying.
We had water hemp up in March,
Yeah,
which normally we don't, but I think we had that warm spell, and the cold got some in April, like when we froze. Like, it actually killed some. I could find some water hemp plants that didn't have herbicide that were dying, or died because of the cold weather. But yeah, that warm spell in March. Hopefully, that's a good thing, I guess. I'd rather have them up early.
yeah,
at
and
least,
kill them.
yeah, especially if you're putting down residuals, and maybe that's less of a seed bank there for in season. We get to V5 corn, and you have water hemp come up, and it's like, man, you're gonna have to stress that corn to kill it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's a good thing. But that is one thing I noticed. We had water hemp come germinate earlier this year than ever, and I think I'm really happy with the control.
Yeah.
And, even just 8 ounces that I can, but like we talked on that herbicide episode, has done a pretty good job on it. But we got them when they were little.
Yeah, that's key. I guess one of the herbicides we talked about volunteer corn. One we're going to see what we can do with the. We had the Vorseed corn this year that was not last year. We're getting ready to spray a Sure 2 on it with a tank mix. I was told that if we run up to 12 ounces, it gets rid of the antagonism in the tank. That's kind of the worry with the Sure, and it is a absolute mess with volunteer. It was volunteered 2 years in a row after it got hailed bad 2 years ago, and it is a giant mess. And so we're running 12 ounces of Sure. So we'll see. It hasn't been sprayed yet, but it will be here in the next couple of days. So,
what are some of the actives that create that antagonism with the Sure 2?
well, I was just told. I was initially told, like, hey, just run it by itself. That's what you need to do.
Well, it's hard, especially if you don't have your own sprayer, just to do a one product tank mix.
Yeah.
We're trying to check as many boxes as we can.
Yeah, I think any of the pre-emerges. I think a lot of like a dicamba. I think that's caused a lot of antagonism. According to a rep from a rep. I heard from a rep instead of a friend from a friend, a rep from a rep.
You really don't want to take any responsibility for this next comment.
I don't. They said as long as you run 12 ounces, you're fine. And then I also heard from a guy today that also he sprays. He says, man, you want to run that by itself or you're going to light some shit up. That's what he told me.
All right.
So we'll see. We might light some shit up.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the first time I've really, obviously we use, clethodim like sugar beets and everything to, the volunteer corn, but killing corn in corn could be interesting. Right. So We'll see how it does. So I recommended running it by itself, but They didn't really want to run an extra
Typical
pass.
agronomists just
Yeah, I know.
trying to cover their own ass.
Well, I know. I don't got to run the sprayer, and I don't got to pay for it. So that's it. Agronomically, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So I've heard. I don't have any experience, so I don't. So we'll see. I mean, this will be a first.
No, that's good to know though. Like, yeah, really talk to your chemical rep about Assure and Assure 2, and yeah, make sure it's compatible or it's going to have good efficacy if it's mixed with other herbicides.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to pay for everything and have it not work or work mediocre.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
only
what.
have
Yeah.
like a 60% kill on your volunteer corn.
Yeah. And when you have train wrecks, you have to do it the right way. Just do it the right way the first time, and then that takes care of a lot of problems.
All right, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, as always, reach out if you got any agronomic questions, trying to pair PGRs or biostimulants or herbicides with each other for these last tank mixes across the field. Yeah, we're more than happy to share our insight on it. Although now after listening, you've probably found out that's very limited. But yeah, give us a call if you have any agronomic questions. And yeah, like always, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And all our episodes are on our website, nextgenfertilizers.com.